Good morning. I am wearing my sweater this morning because I just finished drinking my morning smoothie, and this has been my habit as of late. Before I start drinking my smoothie, I just put a sweater on because I know that partway through my smoothie I'm gonna be so cold. So the kids are just finishing up doing the breakfast dishes. I am waiting for them to finish up because I want to get some bread made, and it's just a little bit tricky for me to be making bread on the counter when like Charity's washing and Simeon's putting all the dishes away and stuff. So get over here, Simeon, let's go. As soon as they are done, I will get some bread made. My sourdough is over here. I feed it every morning, but it just quickly builds up. So I think there's about just over a cup, maybe a cup and a half of sourdough in there right now. So I don't really have plans. Elijah was just telling me a story all about King Tut. He is so into learning history. He teaches me something new every day. He asks me, do you know this story? And I'm like, I don't know if I do. And then he starts telling me, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I do remember learning that, but like it's not on the forefront of my mind, that's for sure. Okay, back to what I was saying about my sourdough. So I have to feed it every morning, and what is happening back there? All right, so every morning when I feed it, I have to feed exactly the amount that's already in there. And so as I'm doing that, you know, the amount of sourdough I have is doubling every day, and so it's growing very quickly. And so if I don't have plans coming up soon for other ways to use my sourdough, I just, as soon as it gets to be like a cup and a half or so, I just make a couple loaves of bread, and then just a few days later I have enough to make a couple loaves of bread again. But I'm just gradually, like, I'll just make 2 loaves, we'll usually eat one, I'll stick one in the freezer. A few days later, I'll make 2 more loaves, we'll eat one, we'll stick one in the freezer, and so on. And so I'm going to, what did you just say? You have plans to use it? So I'm gonna make bread today, and then we're gonna start school. You have plans for me? All right, you guys are a little crazy this morning, yes?
What we were doing is we were talking about the Who Was episode of Sacagawea, and I can't remember what else, but it was Blackbeard, the pirate.
Yes, these kids watched, last night they watched a couple episodes of the Who Was show. They've really been enjoying, and that's another show too where they're learning history as they watch this show. This is a little bit of a, I guess you could say, a cheating recipe for sourdough. I mean, not really, but it does have yeast. So typically if you're making sourdough bread, you would add all your flour and everything, and you'd have to let it sit for like quite a few hours. But this recipe that I use adds yeast as well. And so then it's just really quick. Like, I mix it here and it rises for about a half hour. I move it to my bread pans, it rises for another half hour, and it's super simple. That just needed for, actually, you know what? I can look because I have my camera that's been recording this whole time, and it says 3.5 minutes. So I think that only needed for, you know, 3 minutes. Let me just maneuver this dough hook off of here. All right, so I have my oiled bowl here. I am just going to transfer this big old ball of dough. This is 2 loaves of bread, and I just kind of roll it around a little bit, and then I'm just gonna cover it with a towel, and that will sit for, actually this towel is a little bit wet from the kids drying dishes. I think I will use a drier towel, but this should take anywhere from like half an hour to an hour till it's about doubled in size. And can I just say, let me just grab my camera off of here. I love that this KitchenAid fits under my kitchen cupboards. At our last house, if I had the KitchenAid going, it had to be, you know, out here, and then I could not open the cupboards. They would hit the KitchenAid. Tiny difference in like cupboard height, but I love that this never is like in the way for getting things out of my cupboard. I got those dishes from making that bread all cleaned up. Kitchen's pretty clean. I actually have my bread, the bowl with the dough in it, is sitting in my washing machine. No, close. It's sitting on top of my washing machine because we have like our heater and stuff in this room, and so this is always like the warmest room of the house. So I usually just stick, you know, whatever dough I've made in that room because it rises nice and quick in there. So that's all done. The kids are all playing outside, and sometimes, you know, if I have something I need to do, like I need to make a loaf of bread, then I will say, okay kids, I want you guys just to start on math. You know, we're not going to start our school morning with Bible time like we usually do. Why don't you do math? And that works sometimes, but then sometimes that also means that they're all asking me questions and I'm like, okay, I just need to finish this bread, then I'll help you. And I'm just being pulled all these different ways. And as you might have seen this morning, my kids do have like a ton of energy this morning they need to use up. So I said, okay, this is how we're starting this morning. Chores are done. You guys are gonna go outside for a good 45 minutes. So then I had a quiet house to get bread made. They're all getting their outdoor time done early on in the day. So we'll start school here in a little bit. I told the kids they could have 45 minutes. And then we'll get started on school a little bit later. I'm laughing. I'll show you in a minute. I'm laughing because, well, we went to the library yesterday. Elijah, Charity, and Simeon are all like playing outside. Elijah's in the tree swing. The other kids are on like our park swing. They're all holding books. So like, I mean, technically they're kind of doing school because they just love to read. But where was I going with that? You have the power as the homeschooling mom to adjust how your day is going to flow. If your schedule is not serving you well, if you are serving your schedule, that's not a good thing. That schedule needs to serve you well. And so you have the flexibility to just change up how your day flows. So this morning, instead of starting school like we usually are, the kids are going outside first thing, using up some of that energy, getting some fresh air. Then they'll come in, we'll start school. Granted, by the time we start school, it's gonna be like 10:30 here. Sometimes you just have to switch up your day, and that's okay. Housework needs to be done. When you're homeschooling, it's not just school. Housework, chores, that all needs to get done too. So that's how today is flowing. It's flowing a little bit differently than some days. I see some kids fighting on the swing, so I will go break up that little fight, and then I will show you my kids peacefully playing. Okay, I broke up that fight, and the result is I have a Wesley who's not very happy with me walking towards me. But there's Elijah on the tree swing, reading a book, and then the other kids back there. I love it. It's like perfect. Just read your book as you're outside playing. But it's also like, should I tell you no books? Because you're not really, you know, you're not really like using up your energy when you're just sitting and reading, but it's all good.
I just come inside because it's so hot.
You want to come inside because you're cold? Yeah. You're wearing a nice warm sweater, you're wearing gloves. Oh, your hand is a little bit cold. What are you going to do now?
I don't know because I'm so hungry.
Now you're so hungry?
Yeah.
You're so silly.
Yeah.
I don't think it's quite time for a snack yet. But you're giving me all the excuses. You haven't told me yet that you're so tired. Are you so tired too?
Yeah.
You are tired too?
Yeah.
You're a funny boy. Okay, Wesley's requesting that I find him something to play with. Wesley, what are you looking for? Like, what do you want mommy to get for you? What do you want? Something that's up there on the shelf?
Yeah.
Like what? Do you want the animal matching game? Do you want the acorns? Do you want the alphabet blocks? We have a lot to choose from. Or do you want a puzzle? What do you want? What is it?
These?
What?
Are you talking about these?
I'm talking about those. Yes, I'm talking about, you know those little alphabet blocks you were playing with this morning? What are you talking about? Up here? This box? Okay, so in here, hold on, let me just grab out the pouch. There are a few more blocks in here. Is this what you want?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we get out these ones too? Because these ones go with it. And then you have lots and lots and lots of blocks to choose from. This box comes like chock full of blocks, and there's just a few extras. Like you have to line it up perfectly in this box in order for this box to close. And so I just have some of them in here and some of them in this little bag. What?
You're right. This doesn't heal.
I am right. Well, thank you so much. Yes. That's one of his new things to say, and it makes me laugh so much because he'll ask me something and I tell him and he goes, no, like he thinks I'm wrong. And then a little bit later I hear him, "Oh Mom, you were right." And I'm like, yep. Are you really that surprised? Child number 2 has come inside, and step back a little bit so I can see you a little bit better. I bought Zara this romper the end of last summer, and when kids are little, you can usually get really good prices, especially when they're little, for end of season. So this little romper, I think I got it for like $5 at Carter's end of last summer. It's still maybe a little bit big on you, but...
And I'm 6.
And you're 6. I know, you're 6, but she's like, this is a size 5. This is how tiny Zara is. She wears a size 5 and it's still pretty big on her. But this is what happens. It's like, oh my goodness, my summer clothes. I really want to wear my summer clothes. And then they go outside and it's like, okay, but I need a sweater with my summery clothes. Okay, super cool thing about this set of blocks. Did you actually fit all the blocks in there, Wesley? Good job. Now show me what you can do. What? It's like a little bus. So some of the blocks, let me just show everybody, Wesley, okay? So some of the blocks are these ones, and then they just go magnetic onto these rods. And just like that, this cool little block box turns into a little car. I cried unto him with my mouth, and he was exalted with my tongue.
If I regard iniquity in my heart, the Lord will not hear me. But verily God hath heard me, he hath attended to the voice of my prayer. Blessed be God, which hath not turned away my prayer, nor his mercy from me.
Look how much this rose. So I'm just gonna punch it down. It's the best part, is deflating it. And then I'm going to put it into these 2 bread pans into a nice loaf shape. I'm not great yet at making the splitting it exactly in half, but actually those are 2 pretty equal loaves. So I'm just gonna put the towel on again until that doubles again. It's just about lunchtime, so Elijah and Charity are finishing up their gather round work pages. Zara is working on some math. Let's see. Oh, that is a really neat 5. Good job. Zara's getting close. We have to get all the way to lesson 30 before we're done math for the summer, right, Zara?
Yeah.
Okay, let's finish up your page.
Me and Charity.
Me and Charity?
And
How do you say it? Charity and I.
Charity and I.
Yeah.
Traded our oasis.
Did you?
Yeah, from Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's really nice. So they're finishing up their morning. Let's see where the other kids are. Wesley's over here. Oh goodness. He played with blocks for a while, then he wanted to do button nails. So Wesley, you've got a bit to clean up before lunch, okay, dude? Simeon is over here. He is doing his math. I printed up this sheet of multiplication, the multiplication table. This is from the Teaching Textbooks website, and so it helps him as he's just starting to figure out multiplication. You're gonna come with me into my laundry room so we can check on the bread. Just sitting up here on the washing machine. I think it's about ready. Let's see. Oh yeah, I think that's ready too. I wish I had started a little bit earlier. I don't know, just been more on top of like timing for the bread, because I was thinking, let's see, it has to go to 400. I started it and thought, oh, maybe this will be ready for lunch. But then, you know, it's 5 minutes to 12 and this still has to go in for 25 minutes. So we'll have that later on today. We're just gonna do finger food for lunch. My coffee this morning was not like super hot. I finished it too fast. I finished that before we even finished like Bible time. So I'm gonna get myself another coffee. We're gonna do crackers. I think I'm gonna get out some goldfish too. I just have to show, sorry, I'm laughing. I'll tell you why in a second, but I have to show that this bread just came out of the oven looking so good. I felt like I had to show the finished product since I showed a lot of the making. And the kids are over here saying, Mom, come on, keep reading. You can't leave us hanging. I was in the middle of reading this Farmer Boy book when the timer went and I had to go quickly take the bread out. Don't look, don't peek. Something exciting just happened and the kids are like, don't stop reading. All right, sit down and eat. And I'll keep reading. Sim, what are you doing?
I'm playing.
Playing what? Playing what?
Playing a game.
What game is this?
Monopoly.
And who are you playing against?
Nobody.
Just yourself?
Yeah. I'm playing a race.
You're doing a race. I just pulled these out of the pantry. I bought these in my Costco haul a couple weeks ago now, and someone commented on my video when I bought them and said, oh, these are so good, they're addicting. And I hadn't opened them until today because we're going out tonight, and so I had packed bags for the kids to have for a snack tonight. And I tried one and was like, oh my word, these are so good. So I had another one and I had another one. They are so yummy. I love lemon flavored desserts, but biscotti typically isn't like my favorite, but these ones, you think of biscotti being like, look how good this looks. You think of biscotti being like really crunchy. These ones are a lot softer than I usually think of biscotti being. And the lemon flavor, oh my goodness. If your Costco carries these, you need to try them. I think this is gonna be like one of my favorite purchases I'll have to keep getting because they're so good. For some reason I was thinking I'd already ended this vlog. We just finished dinner and I was like, wait a second. I don't think I did. So I'm gonna close it now. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed following along in our day and we'll see you next time.
Bye.